we are going to yeah, so discuss about the automation testing. So basically, why we need to go for automation? So automation is in testing perspective, it reduces the manual time effort, it increases the efficiency, and it also we can able to cover maximum part as part of automation in minimal time. That's the main reason we are going for automation. And there are some pinpoints in automation as well. Few things we cannot automate and few things we can automate. So basically, what are all the things we can automate is the stable in web application. Say for example, if there is any application which is not stable, we cannot automate it. So stable in the sense which shouldn't have more defects into it, and more defects in the sense major functionality break. So at least any application with minimal defects or avoidable defects can be taken for automation. Basically, it should be stable. And maximum in every project, so automation will be concentrating more on sanity and regression testing, because there is the area where repetitive testing will be occurred. So in order to avoid that repetitive testing from the manual perspective, instead of doing it manually, having some resource involved into it, so we can avoid it with help of automation. And what are all the things we cannot automate? As I said, unstable application, having more open issues, like more in the sense major functionality break. And the area where frequent major changes happens, there also we cannot implement automation, because the modules or functionalities will keep on changing. So we need to keep on rework on the automation scripts, which eventually increases the effort from the automation side. And here I said window application, we can automate the window application, but in Selenium, it is not possible. That's why I just pointed out here. So because I'm going to cover the Selenium topic today. So and another point is CAPTCHA. So wherever the CAPTCHA available, their manual interruption is required to key in the data or select the images as part of CAPTCHA. So there we cannot automate that. We have to perform manually only. So how we can overcome this is we can give some wait, so that application will wait for some time. In that meantime, we can manually type in or select the respective images. Then once the timeout is done, then it will continue the remaining automation process. That way we can overcome this. But automating the captcha is not possible. And few areas where we don't have any proper requirement, in that cases we need to go for ad hoc or random testing. So in that cases, without any proper requirement, doing automation is waste of time. So again, there doing automation is meaningless. So next is why Python. So Python is selected just because it is easy to understand, and coding perspective, the syntax and all, if you see, when it compares to Java or other programming languages, Python is easily, I mean, once you look into that code, you will be able to understand easily, because it will be mostly in layman English, and moreover, you will not be able to see the open or closed curly braces, which instead of that we will be following a code indentation, so which will make the user who doesn't know or who doesn't have any coding knowledge also can easily understand what is happening in the program. And as I said, yeah, the verbose, when we compare to other coding languages, it is, I mean, simple and easy to construct as well. I mean, if you interact with any third-party tool, like I mean, Excel, or you need to fetch data from the Excel, you need to key in data into the Excel. When you go for Java, you need to write a number of lines to make that operation. Whereas in Python, it is very simple. In 1 or 2 lines, we can achieve it. So another thing is like, so when you see the current trend is like everyone from tech industry is moving towards AI and machine learning. So Python plays a vital role in those implementing those AI and machine learning. But Selenium plus Java is widely using as compared to Selenium with Python. But currently, the things are changing up now. So Selenium with Python is rapidly increasing nowadays. So why Selenium? Selenium, we have so many automation tools in market. So Selenium, why we are choosing it is just, it is, the first thing is like it is open source tool and we have a broad community. So where we can get whenever we have any doubts or anything, we can get those details into the community. And Selenium gives you options like you can code develop scripts in any of the languages like Java, Python, JavaScript, C Sharp, etc. And Selenium, it also covers the cross-browser testing. We can test our application into different browsers, Chrome, Mozilla, Edge, Safari, Opera, etc. And it also gives a feasibility that you can run it in different IDEs. So PyCharm, Eclipse, Visual Studio. IDE means like where this we are scripting and it will interact with the application. And Selenium provides different types of frameworks. So those are like unit test, PyTest, robot, etc. Along with it provides the general frameworks like keyword driven, data driven, hybrid framework, anything you can utilize along with this kind of unit PyTest robot frameworks. So when you look into the Python installation, so since we are in working with Python plus Selenium, it is essential to install the Python. So for that, you need to look into this particular URL. Once you go to this particular URL, I can show you. Yeah. So in this URL, you will be able to see the Python. So here there is an option to for Windows, Linux, Mac OS, etc. So you can get anything you want. But this Python is essential to run our Python scripts. So once Python is installed and properly, then what we need to do is we need to set Python home, the Python URL into our system variable so that our system can understand, okay, Python is installed in this local machine. We can perform all the Python related scripts. So for that, we need to go to system environment variables, advanced, and in environment variables, we can add a new path. Path in the sense like Python where we install that folder path we can provide in there in that location. The next one is the pip is standard package manager. When we say like a package manager, if you see Java with Selenium, there you will be able to see the jar files. In Python, again, why Python is simplified as compared to Java is as part of the testing, Selenium testing is like in Java we need to search for different jars for different functionalities. And mainly we need to focus on the versions also because sometimes the jar version may affect the execution. Whereas in Python, we no need to break our head with the complications of those jar implementation. Instead, what we need to do is there's a pip. Pip is nothing but it's the package manager. If once we install this pip into our terminal, we can install whatever package we want. That too, like we don't need to specifically mention it when we write a program. If if any package is missing in program itself, it will show like underlined red color underline. So if you also run that, it will ask you to install that particular package. If you click on that install package, it will get automatically installed. You don't need to search anywhere, Google it or something. It is not required in as part of the Python. So as I said, the IDE is required to write our scripts. So basically for Python is the handy IDE, I can say. When it comes to Java with Selenium, people generally used to do coding with coding in Eclipse, or some people will do it in Visual Studio. But for Python, PyCharm is the best for testing perspective. PyCharm is the best IDE I can say. So here the link is there. It's jetbrains.com. Here in this link, you can able to see the Python IDE. So in this particular URL, you'll be able to see a couple of IDs like PyCharm Professional is there, PyCharm Community is there. PyCharm Community is the open source, whereas PyCharm Professional is used for development purpose. So for testing, PyCharm Community will be sufficient, and this is open source. Okay, so once we install on PyCharm successfully, we need to create a project. Basically, the project, once we create a project, we need to write our scripts in executable files. Those files will comes with the .py extension. I can I can show you that. So this is how the PyCharm IDE looks like. So let me create a new project. It will create like this. Once we create this, automatically get installed along with the IDE. But if you want, you can use it, or you can create your own file. In order to create your own file, you can go to new, and here Python file we need to select, and whatever file name we are giving, it will get created with .py extension, which refers Python. So once we create those py extension file, we can start with our Python programming. The next part is the main part of the execution is like we need to invoke a browser to test our application. So in order to invoke by a browser, we have, as I said, Python, Python provides you possible, like you can utilize you can test your application in different browsers. So, but we need to, in order to invoke a different browsers, there is a slight change in the syntax. So Edge, Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. So here I have coded a small code. I scripted a small code just to open this particular URL in a web application, and I need to do some process here. So first I am just trying to open it in Chrome. So in order to open it in Chrome browser, what we need to do is WebDriver.Chrome options. So WebDriver is nothing but it's a class which will interact as a Selenium along with the Python. So in order to make it interaction, we need to provide this class. So WebDriver.Chrome options, in that, here if you see WebDriver.Chrome. So WebDriver.Chrome, I'm just calling the Chrome from the Chrome options. Chrome option. Then I am assigning a driver as an object to this particular driver, browser invocation. So I'm in this line, driver.get. So I'm just opening this particular application. Let me run this. So Chrome has been opened, and you will be able to see the URL has been injected here. So on top of it, some other actions also I have wrote it, but as of now, you can ignore it. I will tell it in later slides. So similarly, if you want to open it in a Firefox, so there is option for Firefox option. Then here you need you need to change this Chrome into Firefox. So if you run this program, it will open it in Firefox. Yeah, here you see in Firefox, the page has been opened. Similar way, there is an option for Edge, there is an option for Safari, everything we can do it. So Safari option is there. Then you need to select the Safari option. Then you need to change here, instead of Firefox, you need to give Safari. That's it. So likewise, we have cross-browser testing we can perform. Now we can see like a basic Selenium automation functionalities. So first one, once we open any browser, it will be opened in a minimized way. So you need to maximize it. In order to maximize it, there is syntax like driver dot maximize the window. If you give this syntax maximized, in order to minimize this same window, again driver dot minimize window. So once you open any page, you need to get that particular page title. Then you need to simply mention like driver dot title. It will fetch the particular current page title. Also, if you want to get the particular page URL, you need to go to that particular page, and if you execute this particular syntax, it will give the current page URL. Again, if you want to close a window, opened window, then you need to give driver.close. One more option is there to close. That is like a driver.quit, which is like if multiple browser has been opened for any particular instance, then in order to, if you give close, it will open only the current the existing current window. In order to open close entire session window, you need to give driver.quit. So again, driver.refresh is there. You can refresh with this syntax. And if you are there in any particular page, you need to go. You need to move. Say for example, if you are there in any particular page, login page, you have keyed in your credential, you logged in, it will go to the home page. Again, you need to go come back to the login page. Then driver.back we can give. Again, if you go to instead of again providing the same URLs, instead of that browser forward button, you can click and you can go to the next page, right? Instead of that, you can use the driver.forward. These kind of things, syntax are there because we cannot automate that arrow mark click for forward and backward. Instead of that, we will be using these syntaxes. Okay, I will quickly show these basic functionalities in Python. So once I opened the browser, okay, let me go to this demo. Yeah. So here, if you see, like I just opened a browser, Chrome browser. Then I inputting this Rahul Shetty Academy. There's a demo site. I'm just keying in this demo site URL. I'm just maximizing it, and I'm getting the title of the page. I'm getting the URL of the page. Then I'm refreshing that page. Then I'm just moving back up. Before of that page. Then I need to come again next page. So before this back and forward. These are all other functionalities that I will cover later. So these basic things you can able to see in this particular program. So let me run this. So browser has been opened. I keyed in the URL, window maximized. The refresh happened. So it's like, as I said, back. It just went one head back. Again, it just forward thing happened. These are all the, as I said, like different options, operations, which I coded here, that I will cover later. So here you will be able to see page title. So as I said, that particular page title, protocommerce, then page URL is the captured here. So these are all the basic functionalities we can cover as part of the Selenium. Then the major functionality of Selenium is the locators. So as like these locators will help to identify the HTML DOM elements, and it will try to interact with our code. So in order to do that, we have different types of locators. It is around. Yeah. So first one in that is locating by ID. So any web element, if you see in HTML view, like inspect element, if you see the HTML part, you will be able to see that particular element attributes. So one of that element is ID. So this is the syntax to how to provide, to locate that particular element with help of ID. So syntax is like a find element by dot ID value. So there may be chances like few elements may have ID or may not. But if any element in any particular page having ID, it should be unique. If it is dynamic, if it is duplicate, then our script will get failed. So mostly we need to look into those kind of areas. Our locator should be always unique. So in this site, you will be able to see this particular checkbox. So check me out if you love ice creams. So if you inspect this particular element, here you will be able to see in HTML DOM, like ID of this particular web element is example check one. So I need to click on this checkbox. I need to check this particular checkbox. So what I need to do is, so I have keyed, I opened the browser, I keyed in the URL and maximized the window, then checkbox. So as I said, this is syntax, driver.find element by dot ID. With help of ID, I'm now going to locate this particular element. So here my ID is example check one. So that the same value of that particular ID I'm giving here. So then what I need to do is I need to click on this particular checkbox. So dot clicker is the option. So let me run this particular. Yeah, here you're able to see the checkbox has been clicked. Basically, I provided the times between the functionalities to showcase like what is happening, because if I'm not providing this time, it will happen everything in a fraction of a second. We'll not be able to capture what is happening. So next one, as I said, yeah. So next locator is name. The same page look into here, the name field is there. So if I inspect this element, we'll be able to see here there is no ID. So, but we have another, that's what I provided here, driver.find element by dot name. With help of name, I'm just locating this element. So I need to provide the value of that particular locator, which is name. Here I clicked that particular checkbox, which means like I'm clicking on that particular element. Here I need to key in, I need to provide some value to that particular field. So for that we have dot send keys. So name dot send keys, whatever the value we are providing here, it will get this value will be feeded to this particular field. Let me run this. See, the first name has been fed into this particular element. So similarly, link or partial link. So there are two more locators is there. Basically, where we can use this particular link is like only there only we can use this particular locators, which is link text and partial link text. These two. So syntax of these particular two locators is like by dot link text again value. If it is a partial link text, then by dot partial link text then value. Even here in this particular page, you'll be able to see home and shops. These two were the hyperlink which is available in this particular page, where you can use this particular locator to identify it. Okay, link text where initially I'm just giving link text. So if you so let me try to locate this particular shop. I mean, while doing Selenium with Python testing, there are multiple extension available where we can easily fetch the particular attribute value. So one among those is the crow path. Crow path will help you to identify values and locators available for that particular element. Here you can see link text is available. This is the crow path, which will come as a Chrome extension. So with this, with help of this extension, you can able to identify locators of any particular web element. So once I inspect this particular hyperlink, I am able to see what are all the uh, locators I can use here. So here you can see link text, partial link text, both is applicable for this particular link. So you can use this, or you can go directly here into the DOM and you can copy this. And here I am using like a link text with the shop. So if I want to use partial link text, I can change it to partial link text. Whereas like sometimes we'll be able to see there is like a big hyperlinks will be there. In order to not given that not to I mean not want to give that much big lengthy hyperlink, you can show you can give partial of that particular text. But make sure those partial text should not affect. I mean be available in any other area in that particular web page. If that is there, then you can use the partial web link text also. So with link text, I can show you like what is happening. If you in this particular page, if you click on this particular shop, it will go to this particular page. I will show you. The page has been opened, and now this particular shop, yeah, the shop URL, I mean hyperlink has been clicked. It has navigated to next page. So only in this hyperlink area, we can use this link text and partial link text. And in other pages, we will not be able to, I mean, for other elements, we will not be able to use this particular locator. Next is CSS selector. CSS, two more selectors are there, which is CSS selector and text path. Those two were like customizable locators. It is more powerful. Other location is what I have told. You need to look into that element. They need to see like whether in DOM that particular locator is available for that element. Whereas in CSS selector and XPath, we can create a locator. We no need to depend on the elements or the specified locators for that particular web element to be present. So in order to create a CSS selector, there is a formulas there, like just the syntax is like, again, the tag name should be there, attribute equal to value. Say for example, for this itself, if I want to create a, not here, just, yeah. Say, for example, if I want to create CSS selector for this particular element, what I can do is, let me go to this HTML tag. So where it is available inside a input tag. So I can, so first formula is input. Input is the tag name. So tag name input, then attribute equal to value. Open square bracket. I can choose attribute from here. So I mean, you need to select attribute which should be unique. If it is not unique, if it is duplicate, then Selenium will get confused and it will throw an error. So mostly these locators, what I told before, would be unique. I can use this name, which is the attribute, and value of that particular attribute is again name. So this is my CSS selector. If I let me click on somewhere else. Hmm. So you're able to see like here also two two elements are covered with this name. So basically it has captured this particular web element. Whereas it is showing again two elements, which means like another element is there with the same name attribute value. So in that case, we should not provide this. If we provide this, then Selenium will get confused which one to fetch. Then mostly it will throw an error. So in my code, I covered. Yeah. So for email field, I have covered because I have seen email field as unique name, which is email. If I replace this email here, yeah, you can see like that particular email text has been highlighted, and with here you can see like how many elements are matching. I am able to see only one element. Then I can go ahead and use this particular CSS selector to identify this particular element. Let me run the same has been used here. Let me run this. So page is open. Now it will go to it will find the email field, and it will hit keyed in abc@gmail.com, which I have provided here. Email.send is abc@gmail.com. So similar way, XPath, yeah. So XPath is also similar to CSS, but only thing is slight change in the syntax. So before the tag name, we need to provide double forward slash, and before the attribute, you need to provide at the rate. This is the only syntax change between XPath and CSS selector. See, mostly we can use CSS selector or XPath. It depends upon the person who is working on. So usually, if you have any specific locators like name or ID, you can go ahead and use that particular thing. If nothing is there, if your things are looks like confusing, then you can go ahead for this. I mean, XPath, or these two locators will be considered as powerful locators, since it can be customizable and we can use it anywhere. The execution, what I have shown till now is full, which means like you'll be able to see the UI part whenever I try to run it. I mean, whenever I try to run any particular script, you will be able to see how it is happening, everything in UI front end, right? So, but it should be done back. It should provide only the result. Now, what we need to do is, so only one couple of lines we need to add. One is like start maximized, and next one is like here. See, first one, as I said, like a WebDriver.com options we need to provide. In Chrome options, we are going for headless. So for that, object of this particular thing, oj.add arguments headless. And why I'm giving this start maximized is when any if you see other pages like the I have given like a maximized window maximize like this try.maximize window, it will open and it will maximize, whereas in backend we cannot perform this particular action. So instead of doing that, for headless alone we have this thing like start maximize. For headless we need to give this particular thing, then we need to execute our code. Yeah, this is nothing but the same code for what we have for demo, but only thing is I'm going to run it in the headless mode. Okay, you will be able to see like opening the browser and this particular URL need to key in, then maximize this we can neglect. Let it be, nothing will happen. And here you need to fetch the title of the page. I need to get the current URL of the page, refresh, back, forward, everything will happen, but you will not be able to see anything on your, on your high. So in order to get the result, like whether that program has been completed successfully, I just gave one particular message in print like headless execution completed successfully. Let me run this program. So now execution has been started, but we'll not be able to see anything in the front end. Only thing is like once everything is done, in console we'll be able to see the printed message what I have given here. So you're able to see like the headless.py is the file which is running in the backend. Yeah. So you're able to see the page title has been captured, page URL is there. So these functionality will be happening now. Once all these things are done, I will be getting this particular message. Since I've given 5 seconds for each element, it is taking more time. Yeah. So you'll be able to see this message, headless execution completed successfully. But you never seen any UI part, what has happened. Everything has happened in the backend. Only the front end results can capture here. So with help of this, we can execute any. See, if you're working on any particular project, I mean, any other critical things, but you need to run a script which should not affect your daily activities, which means like you can go for headless, and sometimes even the headless will reduce it. So there is considerable execution time also we can see in headless, which is less as compared to the headful. So next is responsive part. Responsive part, if you see like this can be used for mobile application testing. I mean, mobile, not mobile application, the browser application. That we can basically what we need to do is we are setting the window size, width and height. Basically, in any browser, if you inspect and we will see this responsive part where you can select the devices, right? So, if I'm selecting iPhone, then my width and height will be 67. So like that we can give here exactly the same I have given here. You can see how it is. So the screen has been adjusted to the width and height. What else I give here? So the site has been opened in the as per the ratio what I have given, and it starts. But we can't take it as a proper mobile testing. But with if you have whatever we are able to cover with browser simulation, that we can able to perform here with help of this. So whatever I have covered as part of desktop normal view, which is happening now in a mobile view, like in simulation. it's done. So fine, for example, in some instances, what we can do is like a URL, we no need to provide, I mean, we no need to hard code it. Even it comes to username and password mostly. We don't want to hard code it in any of the program. So in that case, what we can do is like we can get it from the keyboard. So for that, there is a syntax like input of whatever data you want, you can get it. So here, driver.get, here I'm just getting the URL of that particular page, which is going to show. So if you run this particular program, it will ask in console like provide me the URL, enter the application URL. This particular message will come into this console. If you provide that particular URL, it will start executing it. So it is open, but it didn't do any action behind it. So because if you see in console, it is asking enter the application URL. So we need to provide something here, then only it will work. Let me provide this particular. Then if you see, yeah, it opened. Yeah. So basically these keyboard values, mostly it would be helpful where we need to provide a data which should not get outcoded. We need to provide any particular data. We can see, I mean, we can use this particular option. Yeah, I think, yeah, I covered everything. So any doubts you have?
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at Specbee's TechX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following Specbee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.